Chapter 1, Expanding on the provided index entries to fit the Encyclopedia style. Part I, The Foundations of Human Resources. Chapter 1, The Strategic Role of HR. This chapter explores the fundamental shift of the HR function from a traditional administrative role to a modern, strategic partnership essential for organizational success. It establishes the core knowledge an HR specialist needs to contribute value at a strategic level from administrator to strategic partner. Definition: this shift represents the evolution of HR from a department focused primarily on paperwork, payroll, policy enforcement, and reactive problem solving, often called personnel, to one that is proactively involved in planning and executing business strategy through people. Key differences: administrative HR, focus on efficiency, processing correctly, quickly, cheaply; strategic HR, focus on effectiveness, hiring the right people, developing needed skills, building engagement to achieve business goals. Actionable steps for the HR specialist: 1. Audit your time. Analyze how much time is spent on transactional tasks versus strategic initiatives. 2. Automate and delegate. Leverage HRIS and outsource or streamline administrative tasks to free up capacity. 3. Propose solutions, not just problems. Bring data-driven recommendations to leadership, e.g., turnover in Department X is 25% above the industry average, costing us $Y. I propose a targeted retention program. Understanding business acumen. Definition: business acumen is the ability to understand how a company makes money and operates financially, and how your role and the HR function contribute to its overall success. Core components for HR: financial literacy, understanding basic financial statements, P&L, balance sheet, cash flow, key metrics, revenue, profit margins, EBITDA, and how HR impacts them. Industry knowledge, knowing the competitive landscape, market differentiators, regulatory environment, and key challenges your organization faces. Operational understanding, knowing how products are made or services are delivered, who the customers are, and what the core value chain looks like. How to develop it: sit in on business unit meetings, ask managers to explain their departmental goals and challenges, take online courses in finance and business fundamentals. Aligning HR strategy with organizational goals. Definition: the process of designing HR policies, practices, and initiatives to directly support the achievement of the overall business strategy. The process: 1. Understand the business strategy. What are the organization's top 3 to 5 goals for the next 1 to 3 years? E.g., enter a new market, launch a new product, improve customer satisfaction, reduce costs. 2. Ask strategic questions. For each business goal, ask what are the people implications. Example: goal equals grow market share in Europe. HR questions: do we have leaders who can manage international teams? Do we need to recruit multilingual staff? How do we onboard and integrate a new cultural group? 3. Develop HR priorities. Translate the answers into an HR strategic plan. Example: HR priorities: create an expatriate management program, develop a recruitment strategy targeting European talent, implement cross-cultural training tool. The strategy map visually links organizational objectives with HR-driven objectives in areas like learning and growth. The HR value proposition. Definition: the tangible and intangible value that the HR function delivers to the organization. It answers the question: why should the business invest in HR? Components of value: value creation, directly contributing to revenue, innovation, or market share, e.g., building a sales compensation plan that drives growth. Value protection, mitigating risk and ensuring compliance, e.g., effective training to prevent harassment lawsuits, ensuring FLSA compliance to avoid penalties. Value delivery, improving efficiency and service delivery, e.g., implementing self-service technology for employees and managers. Communicating value: HR must speak the language of business, quantifying its impact in terms of ROI, risk mitigation, productivity gains, and revenue enhancement. Models of HR organization, e.g., Ulrich model. Definition: frameworks for structuring the HR function to maximize its efficiency and strategic impact. The Ulrich model, HR business partner model. The most influential model, which splits HR into 4 key roles: 1. Strategic partner, HR professionals embedded in business units who align HR strategy with business unit strategy. 2. Change agent, HR professionals who help guide and manage organizational transformation. 3. Administrative expert, HR professionals, often in a shared services center, who develop efficient and effective HR processes. 4. Employee champion, HR professionals who focus on engagement, contribution, and listening to employee voices. Modern interpretations, many organizations have adapted this model, often creating centers of excellence, COEs specialists in areas like talent acquisition, total rewards, and learning and development who develop cutting-edge programs. Shared services, a centralized team handling transactional inquiries and administrative tasks for all employees. HR business partners, HRBPs, strategic generalists who consult with business leaders on people-related strategies. Chapter 2, following the encyclopedia style and structure established in Chapter 1 Part I, the foundations of human resources. Chapter 2, law and ethics in the workplace. This chapter provides the critical legal and ethical foundation for every HR specialist. Understanding these principles is non-negotiable. They govern every action, from hiring to termination, and protect both the organization and its employees. The employment relationship, at-will vs. contractual definition. This doctrine defines the foundational legal relationship between employer and employee in the United States, with some exceptions, notably Montana, employment at will, meaning, an at-will employee can be terminated at any time, for any reason that is not illegal, or for no reason at all. Similarly, an employee can quit at any time for any reason. Implications for HR, this is the default assumption. It provides flexibility but does not absolve the employer from legal obligations. All offer letters and handbook acknowledgments should carefully state the at-will relationship to avoid creating an implied contract. Contractual employment, meaning, an employee's tenure, termination conditions, and/or job duties are defined by a written, or sometimes oral, contract. Key elements, contracts often specify a term of employment, grounds for termination for cause, and severance packages. They are common for executives, high-level specialists, or unionized employees governed by a collective bargaining agreement, CBA. Implications for HR, termination must strictly adhere to the contract's terms. HR must meticulously manage and track contract dates, renewal clauses, and termination procedures to avoid breach of contract lawsuits. Overview of key employment laws. Definition, a survey of the primary federal statutes that regulate the employment life cycle. HR must ensure organizational compliance with these laws. Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, purpose, prohibits employment discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, including pregnancy, sexual orientation, and gender identity, or national origin. HR application, governs all employment actions. Requires employers to provide reasonable accommodations for religious practices. Enforced by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC, Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA. Purpose, prohibits discrimination against qualified individuals with disabilities. Requires employers to provide reasonable accommodations to enable them to perform essential job functions. HR application, engage in the interactive process with employees who request accommodations. Focus on removing barriers, which can be physical, technological, or procedural. Age discrimination in Employment Act, ADEA. Purpose, protects individuals who are 40 years of age or older from employment discrimination based on age. HR application, particularly relevant in reductions in force, RIFs, avoid language in job postings that implies a preference for younger workers, e.g., digital native, recent college grad. Family and Medical Leave Act, FMLA. Purpose, provides eligible employees of covered employers with up to 12 weeks of unpaid, job-protected leave per year for specified family and medical reasons, e.g., serious health condition, birth/adoption, caring for a spouse/child/parent with a serious condition. HR application, administer leave requests, ensure proper designation and documentation, and guarantee reinstatement to the same or an equivalent position upon return. Run concurrently with other leave policies. Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA. Purpose, establishes minimum wage, overtime pay, record keeping, and youth employment standards. HR application, correctly classify employees as exempt, salaried, not eligible for overtime, or non-exempt, hourly, eligible for overtime. Misclassification is a common and costly error. Governs rules for break times and compensable work. Ethical decision-making frameworks. Definition: structured processes HR professionals can use to analyze and resolve complex dilemmas that are not always clearly addressed by the law. Common frameworks: the utilitarian approach, choose the action that does the most good and the least harm for the greatest number of people. The rights approach, choose the action that best respects and protects the moral rights of those affected. The fairness approach, choose the action that treats everyone equally and fairly. The common good approach, choose the action that best serves the community as a whole, not just some members. of practical HR model. 1. Identify the problem. Is it legal? Is it balanced? How does it make you feel? 2. Get the facts. Who is involved? What are the relevant policies and laws? 3. Evaluate alternative actions. Test each option against the frameworks above. 4. Make a decision and implement it. 5. Reflect on the outcome. What did you learn for the future? Confidentiality and data privacy. Definition: the ethical and legal obligation to safeguard sensitive employee information. What must be confidential? Medical information, ADA, FMLA, immigration status, I-9, financial data, performance discussions, disciplinary actions, investigations, and personal employee data. Need to know principle: information should only be shared with individuals who require it to perform their job functions, e.g., a manager needs to know about an accommodation but not the underlying diagnosis. Data privacy laws. HR must be increasingly aware of broader regulations like the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, for EU citizens and various state laws, e.g., California Consumer Privacy Act, CCPA, that grant employees rights over their personal data. Global compliance considerations. Definition: the complex layer of laws and regulations that apply to organizations with international operations or a global workforce. Key areas of difference. Termination: most countries do not have at-will employment. Termination is highly regulated, often requiring lengthy notice periods, severance payments, or government approval. Benefits: statutory benefits, vacation, sick leave, parental leave, healthcare, are often far more generous and mandated by law. Data privacy: the GDPR sets a stringent global standard for collecting, processing, and transferring employee data across borders. Representation: works councils and union representation are common and legally required in many countries for significant business decisions. HR application: never assume U.S. laws apply. Work with local legal counsel and HR experts to develop country-specific policies and procedures. Centralize a compliance calendar to track international reporting and filing requirements. Chapter 3, continuing the comprehensive encyclopedia style. Part I, the foundations of human resources. Chapter 3, HR technology, HRIS. This chapter examines the technological backbone of the modern HR function. A human resource information system, HRIS, is no longer a simple database. It is a strategic platform that integrates processes, provides critical data, and enhances the employee experience. Mastery of HR technology is essential for every HR specialist selecting and implementing an HRIS. Definition: a structured process for choosing and deploying a new HR technology platform that meets the organization's current and future needs. The selection process: 1. Needs assessment and form a committee. Identify pain points in current processes. Form a cross-functional team from HR, IT, finance, and key business units. 2. Define requirements. Categorize needs as must-have, e.g., integrated payroll, compliance reporting, and nice-to-have, e.g., AI-powered candidate sourcing. 3. Market research and vendor demos. Research vendors that fit your size, industry, and budget. Schedule detailed demos where vendors use your data to simulate real scenarios for evaluation and decision. Score vendors against your requirements. Check references, total cost of ownership, licensing, implementation, support, and the vendor's financial health and roadmap the implementation process, a phased approach 1 project planning, define scope, timeline, budget, and assign a dedicated project team 2 configuration and customization, set up the system to match your workflows, not the other way around avoid over-customizing, which can complicate future updates 3 data migration, cleanse, map, and import historical data from old systems. This is often the most critical and time-consuming phase. 4 testing and training, conduct rigorous user acceptance testing, UAT, develop role-based training for HR staff, managers, and employees. 5 launch and go live, choose a phased or big bang approach. Have strong support ready for the initial launch period. 6 post-launch support and optimization, continuously gather feedback, measure adoption, and use more features over time. Core HRIS modules, database management, payroll, benefits, time and attendance definition, the essential functional components of a comprehensive HRIS platform. Employee database, the system of record function, the central repository for all employee data, personal, job, compensation, history, strategic importance, provides a single source of truth, eliminating data silos and inconsistency. Enables employee self-service, for updating personal information. Payroll module, function, automates the calculation of gross to net pay, tax withholdings, and direct deposits. Integrates with the time and attendance and benefits modules. Strategic importance, ensures accuracy and compliance, critical for employee trust and legal adherence. Reduces manual effort and errors. Benefits administration module, function, manages employee benefits programs, health insurance, retirement plans, etc., often includes an enrollment portal, life event processing, and carrier connections. Strategic importance, simplifies the complex enrollment process for employees, reduces HR administrative workload, and ensures accurate deduction. Tracking time and attendance module, function, tracks employee hours worked, absences, vacation, and sick leave. Can integrate with clock-in systems, biometric, mobile, web. Strategic importance, provides accurate data for payroll, ensures FLSA compliance for non-exempt workers, and helps manage leave accruals and usage. Data analytics and reporting for HR. Definition, the practice of using HRIS data to generate insights, measure effectiveness, and support strategic decision-making. Moves HR from anecdotal to evidence-based. Standard reporting, pre-built reports for routine needs, headcount, turnover, EEO1 filings, advanced analytics, people analytics. Descriptive analytics, what has happened, e.g., turnover was 15% last quarter. Diagnostic analytics, why did it happen, e.g., turnover is highest in the sales department for employees with less than 1 year of tenure. Predictive analytics, what is likely to happen, e.g., using historical data, this employee has an 85% probability of leaving in the next 6 months. Prescriptive analytics, what should we do about it, e.g., the model suggests a targeted retention bonus and a mentorship assignment to reduce flight risk. Key HR metrics, examples: turnover rate and cost, voluntary vs involuntary, by department/manager, time to fill and time to hire, efficiency of the recruitment process. Diversity metrics, representation across all levels and functions. Engagement scores, correlated with performance and retention, ensuring data security and integrity. Definition, the protocols and practices that protect sensitive HR data from unauthorized access, loss, or corruption. This is a non-negotiable legal and ethical duty. Data security, access controls, role-based permissions ensure employees, managers, and HR staff only see the data essential for their jobs. Encryption, data should be encrypted both at rest, in the database, and in transit, being transmitted over the Internet. Audit trails, the system should log who viewed or changed any sensitive data and when. Vendor compliance, ensure cloud-based SaaS, vendors have certifications like SOC2 Type 2, proving their security controls are robust. Data integrity, validation rules, system rules prevent illogical entries, e.g., a hire date in the future, regular audits, schedule periodic checks to clean up duplicate entries or incorrect data, standardized processes, clear procedures for data entry and updates ensure consistency. The rise of AI and automation in HR. Definition: the application of artificial intelligence, AI, and robotic process automation, RPA, to streamline administrative tasks, enhance decision-making, and improve the employee experience. Applications in HR, talent acquisition, AI-powered tools can screen resumes for keywords, source passive candidates, schedule interviews, and even analyze video interviews for linguistic and behavioral cues, with significant ethical considerations regarding bias. Onboarding and help desk, chatbots answer routine employee questions, e.g., how do I change my 401k contribution? Freeing up HR staff for complex issues. Personalized learning, AI recommends training courses to employees based on their role, career goals, and skill gaps. Predictive analytics, as described above, AI models analyze data to predict turnover, identify high-potential employees, and flag flight risks. Ethical considerations and the human element, algorithmic bias, AI models can perpetuate and even amplify existing human biases present in the historical data they are trained on. Human oversight is critical. Transparency, candidates and employees have a right to know when AI is being used in decisions that affect them. The augmented HR professional, AI will not replace HR specialists but will augment them. The focus will shift from administrative tasks to strategic advisory, empathy, ethical oversight, and change management. Uniquely human skills. Chapters 4 and 5, continuing the comprehensive encyclopedia style. Part 2, talent acquisition and onboarding. Chapter 4, workforce planning. This chapter moves beyond reactive hiring to the proactive practice of workforce planning. It is the strategic process of analyzing, forecasting, and planning for the workforce needs that will enable the organization to meet its future business goals. Strategic workforce planning process. Definition: a systematic process for identifying and addressing the gap between the workforce an organization has today and the human capital it will need to achieve its future strategic objectives. The multi-phase process: 1. Set the strategic direction, understand the organization's long-term goals, e.g., market expansion, new product launch, digital transformation. This is the why behind planning. 2. Supply analysis, the current state. Analyze the current workforce. This includes headcount, skills, competencies, demographics, performance levels, and retirement risk. 3. Demand analysis, the future state. Forecast the future workforce needs based on the strategic goals. How many people, with what skills, in which roles, and where will they be needed? 4. Gap analysis, compare the supply and demand analyses to identify surpluses, shortages, and competency gaps. 5. Solution development, create action plans to close the identified gaps through strategies like recruitment, training, restructuring, succession planning, or contingent labor. 6. Implement, monitor, and iterate, execute the plans and establish metrics, KPIs, to track progress. Workforce planning is a continuous cycle, not a one-time event. Forecasting talent needs. Definition: the quantitative and qualitative process of estimating future human resource requirements. Quantitative methods, trend analysis, projecting past trends, e.g., sales per employee, revenue headcount ratio, into the future. Ratio analysis, using historical ratios, e.g., the ratio of production workers to supervisors, to forecast needs. Statistical regression analysis, using complex modeling to determine the relationship between a dependent variable, e.g., headcount, and one or more independent variables, e.g., sales volume. Economic indicators, qualitative methods, management forecasts, leveraging the expertise of senior leaders and department managers to estimate their future needs based on business pipelines and strategic initiatives. Delphi technique, a structured communication technique where a panel of experts anonymously provides forecasts, receives feedback, and then refines their estimates over multiple rounds to reach a consensus. Zero-based forecasting, building the forecast from the ground up, zero, based on upcoming projects and strategic goals, rather than relying solely on historical data. Succession planning for key roles. Definition: A structured process for ensuring continuity in critical positions by identifying and developing internal talent to fill future vacancies. Key steps: 1. Identify critical roles. Not every role needs a successor. Focus on positions that are crucial to operational continuity, strategic execution, or are highly specialized. 2. Identify high potential talent. HIPOs use performance and potential data to pinpoint employees who have the capability to advance to critical roles. 3. Assess gaps and develop individual development plans, IDPs for each potential successor. Assess the gap between their current skills and those required for the target role. Create tailored IDPs involving stretch assignments, mentoring, and formal training. 4. Create talent calibration and review. Regularly review succession plans with senior leadership to ensure alignment and track development progress. Strategic importance: mitigates risk from sudden departures, reduces costly external hires for senior roles, and boosts retention of top talent by demonstrating a commitment to their growth. Analyzing skills gaps. Definition: the process of identifying the difference between the skills an organization's workforce currently possesses and the skills it requires to achieve its goals. The analysis process: 1. Define future skills, based on the business strategy. Determine the skills that will be needed in the future, e.g., data analytics, AI literacy, digital marketing. 2. Inventory current skills. Use skills matrices, performance reviews, employee self-assessments, and skill-based tests to catalog the current capabilities of the workforce. 3. Compare and analyze. Systematically compare the future needs against the current inventory to identify critical gaps at the organizational, departmental, and individual level. Closing the gaps. The analysis informs targeted solutions. Upskill. Train existing employees to acquire new skills. Reskill. Prepare employees for new roles within the organization as their current roles become obsolete. Hire. Recruit externally for skills that are lacking internally and are critical to the strategy. Chapter 5. Recruitment and sourcing. This chapter covers the art and science of attracting and identifying qualified candidates to meet the workforce needs identified in the planning phase. It has evolved from simply filling vacancies to proactively building a robust talent pipeline. Writing effective job descriptions. Definition: a job description is a critical marketing and communication tool that serves two purposes: to attract qualified candidates and to set clear expectations for the role. Key components of a modern job description: compelling job title. Use standardized, industry-recognized titles, e.g., software engineer 2, not code ninja. Company summary and culture. Sell the organization's mission, values, and what makes it a great place to work. Impact statement. Describe how the role contributes to the company's goals, moving beyond a dry list of duties. Key responsibilities. Use bullet points and action verbs. Focus on outcomes, not just activities required vs preferred qualifications. Be realistic. List absolute necessities separately from nice to haves to avoid discouraging strong candidates who may not meet every single criterion. Compensation and benefits. Transparency. Increasingly expected by candidates include a salary range and highlight key benefits. Sourcing strategies. Active and passive candidates. Definition: sourcing is the proactive search for and identification of qualified candidates, rather than waiting for applications to come in. Active candidates: those actively seeking a new job, applying to postings on job boards. Strategies: post on major job boards, Indeed, LinkedIn, niche industry boards, and promote on the company career page. Passive candidates: employed professionals not actively looking but open to the right opportunity. Often the top talent strategies: Boolean search, using operators, and, or, not, to perform precise searches on platforms like LinkedIn and Google. Talent pipeline building, continuously networking and building relationships with potential candidates before a role is open. Employee referral programs, incentivizing current employees to refer qualified candidates from their networks. Sourcing events, attending or hosting industry conferences, meetups, and hackathons. Employer branding and value proposition, EVP. Definition: employer brand, the market's perception of what it's like to work for your company. Your reputation as an employer. Employee value proposition, EVP. The unique set of benefits, rewards, and opportunities an employee receives in return for their skills, capabilities, and experience. It's the why someone should work for you. Key pillars of an EVP: compensation and benefits, e.g., pay, equity, health insurance, 401k match, work and environment, e.g., flexibility, culture, leadership, colleagues, career and development, e.g., growth opportunities, training, mentorship, purpose and impact, e.g., company mission, social responsibility, HR application. The EVP should be authentic and woven into all recruitment messaging, from the career page to interview conversations. Showcase it through employee stories, testimonials, and day-in-the-life content, leveraging social media and professional networks. Definition: using online platforms to build brand awareness, engage with potential candidates, and promote open roles. Platform strategies: LinkedIn, the premier professional network essential for sourcing, posting jobs, sharing thought leadership, and building the company's brand through its life page. Twitter/X, useful for engaging in industry conversations, showcasing company culture in real time, and sharing quick updates. Facebook/Instagram, effective for highlighting company culture, employee events, and community involvement through photos and videos to reach a broader audience. GitHub, for tech, a key platform for sourcing and evaluating technical talent by reviewing their code and project contributions. Best practice: empower employees to be brand ambassadors by sharing company content with their networks. Working with recruitment agencies. Definition: partnering with external firms to help fill specific, often hard to fill, roles. Types of agencies: contingency agencies, paid only if their candidate is hired, typically used for high-volume or mid-level roles. Multiple agencies may work on the same role. Retained search firms, paid an upfront retainer and have an exclusive agreement to fill a specific, usually senior level or executive, position. They act as a true partner in the search process. When to use an agency: for highly specialized or niche roles where skills are scarce. For confidential searches, e.g., replacing a current employee, when the internal talent acquisition team lacks capacity or specific market expertise. Managing the relationship: provide a detailed brief, maintain clear communication, and establish expectations regarding candidate quality, feedback, timing, and fee structure. Part 2, Talent Acquisition and Onboarding. Chapter 5, Recruitment and Sourcing. This chapter covers the art and science of attracting and identifying qualified candidates to meet the workforce needs identified in the planning phase. It has evolved from simply filling vacancies to proactively building a robust talent pipeline. Writing effective job descriptions. Definition: a job description is a critical marketing and communication tool that serves two purposes: to attract qualified candidates and to set clear expectations for the role. Key components of a modern job description: compelling job title, use standardized, industry-recognized titles, e.g., software engineer 2, not code ninja. Company summary and culture: sell the organization's mission, values, and what makes it a great place to work. Impact statement: describe how the role contributes to the company's goals, moving beyond a dry list of duties. Key responsibilities: use bullet points and action verbs. Focus on outcomes, not just activities required vs preferred qualifications. Be realistic. List absolute necessities separately from nice-to-haves to avoid discouraging strong candidates, especially women and underrepresented groups, who may not meet every single criterion. Compensation and benefits. Transparency, increasingly legally mandated and expected by candidates, include a good faith salary range and highlight key benefits. Sourcing strategies: active and passive candidates. Definition: sourcing is the proactive search for and identification of qualified candidates, rather than waiting for applications to come in. Active candidates: those actively seeking a new job, applying to postings on job boards. Strategies: post on major job boards, Indeed, LinkedIn, niche industry boards, and promote on the company career page. Passive candidates: employed professionals not actively looking but open to the right opportunity, often represent the top talent. Strategies: Boolean search, using operators, and, or, not, to perform precise searches on platforms like LinkedIn and Google. Talent pipeline building: continuously networking and building relationships with potential candidates before a role is open. Employee referral programs. Incentivizing current employees to refer qualified candidates from their network. Sourcing events, attending or hosting industry conferences, meetups, and hackathons. Employer branding and value proposition, EVP. Definition: employer brand, the market's perception of what it's like to work for your company. Your reputation as an employer. Employee value proposition, EVP. The unique set of benefits, rewards, and opportunities an employee receives in return for their skills, capabilities, and experience. It's the why someone should work for you. Key pillars of an EVP: compensation and benefits, e.g., pay, equity, health insurance, 401k match, work and environment, e.g., flexibility, culture, leadership, colleagues, career and development, e.g., growth opportunities, training, mentorship, purpose and impact, e.g., company mission, social responsibility. HR application: the EVP must be authentic and woven into all recruitment messaging, from the career page to interview. Conversations showcase it through employee stories, testimonials, and day-in-the-life content. Leveraging social media and professional networks. Definition: using online platforms to build brand awareness, engage with potential candidates, and promote open roles. Platform strategies: LinkedIn, the premier professional network essential for sourcing, posting jobs, sharing thought leadership, and building the company's brand through its life page. Twitter/X, useful for engaging in industry conversations, showcasing company culture in real time, and sharing quick updates. Facebook/Instagram, effective for highlighting company culture, employee events, and community involvement through photos and videos to reach a broader audience. Niche platforms, e.g., GitHub for tech, Behance for design. Key for sourcing and evaluating specialized talent by reviewing their work. Best practice: empower employees to be brand ambassadors by sharing company content with their networks. Working with recruitment agencies. Definition: partnering with external firms to help fill specific, often hard to fill, roles. Types of agencies: contingency agencies, paid only if their candidate is hired, typically used for high volume or mid-level roles. Multiple agencies may work on the same role. Retained search firms, paid an upfront retainer and have an exclusive agreement to fill a specific, usually senior level or executive, position. They act as a true partner in the search process. When to use an agency: for highly